Welcome back. With me today is Steve Leonard, and Steve chairs our Village Energy Task Force. And Steve, it's been a while since you've been on. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been probably since I left the United Board.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago or something.
Yeah, so nice to have you back. Now, on Monday, you chaired a meeting, and we're going to kind of give a recap of that meeting, but a few steps that have gone on since I've seen you, and you've been one of the instrumental folks and within our energy here in the village in many different facets, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's been other people too,
Right.
but I know you've been involved for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the corral chief now.
Yes, it sounds like it. So first, give us a brief introduction.
So many years ago, there were 3 energy committees, one for United, one for Third, and one for GRF. And even though the mutuals have separate needs from GRF, at some point we started talking, and why don't we just have one energy committee?
Makes sense.
And you know, sharing of information, whatever. And they finally agreed to do that, and back in about 2018. And as the conversation started, what they determined was, because each one of the boards have their own bylaws, that how do you manage that? So they decided to change from a committee to a task force.
Okay.
Right, to help do that around. So that was in May of 2018, and they drafted a charter. And then in July, they came up with a final revised charter in July of 2018. And there are 2 directors from each mutual, Third and United, typically the chair of M&C and 1 other director, and also from GRF. So there's 6 board members who sit there from the 3 corporations, plus advisors. So when I came on, I was an advisor.
That's right.
Because I had already left the board. And the task force is an advisory body that reports back to the individual committees and boards for Third Mutual and United and GRF. So GRF and Third and United approved separate contracts to hire an energy consultant for their individual needs. Okay. And then later in August of 2018, the task force approved the charter, we find internally, and we sent it out to the boards for their approval. And then they came back and approved it. And in September, the boards also approved $50,000 each, Third, United, and GRF, for energy consulting services. And our job as the task force was to help identify what areas needed to be looked into and reports generated and whatnot. So in December, we approved plans for the review and report for United Third for electrical infrastructure as it is now, our current loads, and also try to project out 5 to 10 years how those might change.
Right. And they're going to.
Yeah, and they're going to.
Yeah.
Instant hot water heaters, electric vehicle charging, there's a slew of things which you're aware of. And then we also want to look into electric vehicle and golf cart charging and possible alternative energy sources. Third and United both have solar, GRF has none. Right. Yet.
Yes. And let me just stop you for a minute there. And what I want to get at is this whole energy task force makes so much sense to look at things as a whole instead of pieces. And I think there are a lot of board members even now looking at other things within the village. Landscape or you know, whatever it is, because everything kind of steps over the other. And to look at it as a whole, 1, in the long run, you might get better solutions, and 2, you could end up saving money.
Well, and staff time. If you have 3 energy committees, then you've got staff going to 3 meetings rather than 1. So you cut it down from 3 to 1. And the presidents have president meetings with their first executive. The treasurers now have meetings.
Makes sense.
You know, some people take exception to it and say you're having secret meetings. No, they're not meetings, because it's a general conversation about What are you doing? What are we doing? Where are your problems? These are our problems. Is there an overlap? Can we work with landscape together in a mutually beneficial way? So
yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to bring that up.
And that was, I mean, we have an investment task force in the village.
Yeah.
We have the Performing Arts Center task force in the village. So this is something that's coalesced in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And it's been a good thing, I think. So back in December, we had some presentations from Ice Bear. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yes, the cooling.
The cooling things. We talked, Carl and I came out and talked.
Yeah, it was like a modern day swamp cooler in a sense, right?
And we thought
in a very simplistic term.
Ways, yes.
Yeah.
And we thought that may be applicable to GRF, so they gave a presentation, and so did the electrical contractor and the consultant, and they gave some presentations. Bert Maldo was chair of the task force. He became ill in December, so he missed the January meeting, and Carl acted as chair. Pardon me. And then Bert decided to leave the task force as the chair and remain on GRF. So Carl served for a couple of meetings in that interim as the chair. In March of this year, the task force recommended additional EV chargers at the community center.
Right.
And there was a program through the Southern California SCIP, can't remember the exact thing, that they would cover 75% of the cost up to $210,000.
Yeah.
So we looked at adding some more chargers out here, and instead of just putting the level 2 chargers that use about as much electricity as a washing machine, at about, so the one on the very far end on the left is a level 2 charger, and these 3 in the middle are level 3 chargers.
Yes.
Those level 3 chargers put out 10 times as much electricity. So instead of getting 25 miles an hour worth of charge on a level 2 charger, you can get 250 in an hour on those level 3s.
And that's important.
Yes.
As you know, you and I have talked about this, Bert and I have talked about this, that, you know, sort of the holy grail of charging your vehicles up is getting to the point that you can charge them one day almost as fast as filling your tank up. Because when people are on the go, minutes count.
Correct.
It doesn't matter if you're on a family vacation or going to work. Right. But they count.
Exactly so. And in our community of 18,000 people, most people are retired. They don't do that much driving. If they do 10, 15, 20 miles a day. If you have a car that has a 250 mile range, so you can charge it once a week.
Right.
You're not going to do that at the carports.
That's true.
If you live in Third and you have a garage, you have a 30 amp, 240 volt circuit for your dryer, you could use that. But what we found was we could put 3 of those level 3 chargers in and 1 additional level 2 within the budget, and it would be covered 75% by this SCIP
And these are
program.
come online, this was taken this morning.
Yes.
So about another week or 2?
As far as I know, they may be ready to go today.
Okay.
However, we still have to make some determinations about pricing.
Yes.
We do have a pricing program in play now, which is residents charge for basically the cost of electricity that GRF pays, and outside parties charge at 30 cents a kilowatt hour, which is about street price.
Right.
But we have to figure out what to do with these level 3s because they draw 10 times as much power, and they're currently on the same meter as this building.
Right.
And that could have a significant effect on demand charges. And that's what Bert Maldow and myself have been looking at really carefully now, because we were saying we may need a separate meter out there for a time of use EV8 rate, rather than, because that has no demand charges on it.
Okay.
So there's still some talk that's going to happen about that.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be online by the end of today, I think.
Okay. And these are in the common lot, meaning the community center. So really, anybody can use these.
That's one of the qualifications.
Right.
We couldn't
somebody
put
can
it
just
behind
drive
gates.
off the street and go, hey, look. Yes.
And they can find it on the ChargePoint
And that's one of
app.
the qualifications. So.
And it provides an income stream to GRF as well on that.
So that's a good point. So nobody goes, hey, this person doesn't live here. No, that was part of the
You want those people plugging in and paying you money.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, in May, I was elected the chair to the task
Right.
force. None of the other directors wanted to take the chair. I said, we're all too busy. And they wanted me to do it, so they voted me in as chair. And then in July, the energy consultant came out and gave us a proposal for the grid, for possibilities for this building and Clubhouse
Right.
7, and do that, so they gave a presentation. We still have to look into that a little more deeply,
Okay.
because the cost of the systems that they showed us was pretty significant, and we could probably implement some of those things to be beneficial from a cost reduction standpoint.
Okay,
for
we're
the
just
energy.
about out of time.
Okay.
Sorry,
That's all right.
but we want to get you back and have a little bit more time with you,
Okay.
if we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you for understanding.
Sure.
It's a little tight today. We were trying to get you get in here and get
Yeah, yep.
everything set up, which we're going to end up putting the slides on later, and all. So I hope you understand.
Absolutely, no.
All right.
Good.
Good to see you.
you.
It's really good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll be right back.